All right. A very good afternoon, everybody. Let me confirm if we're live or not. Just give me a moment as I confirm if we're live. Yes, we're live. Good afternoon, Shruti. Good afternoon. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Thank you for tuning in. Right, as always, before we begin with the lesson, allow me to give you a quick introduction of the Unacademy portal. Unacademy is today India's largest learning platform when it comes to learning for any kind of competitive exam. This YouTube channel is particularly for management exams. It's called CAT4MBA. And this is pretty much about me. I'm Prankur Arora. I'm going to be your instructor on this journey of learning. I've been a trainer, I've been a coach for a while. I've consulted with various multinational organizations, ITC, Marico, Becton Dickinson. I am doing well, Shruti. Thank you for asking. I'm a published author as well. Wrote this book called It's Not Funny. It's a work of satirical fiction, comedic fiction, existential humor, essentially. So you can check that out. Uh, I also hold advanced certifications in facilitation from an American organization known as the Leadership Management International. It is the world's largest organization working in the space of leadership. And I run the startup by the name of Thought Sutra. So, yeah, that's pretty much about me. So there are quite a lot of features that add to the Unacademy advantage. Features such as providing you with daily live classes on the platform wherein the interaction between the learner as well as the educators happens in real time. You can engage in discussions, ask your doubts, question answers. They're conducted in the form of live polls, right? So essentially you participate in the live polls and you're competing for a place on the leaderboard which is broadcast to anybody and everybody who's a part of that session. We regularly conduct tests and quizzes on the platform, the idea of which is to help you develop perspective about your learning journey. थोड़े बुमराह जैसे दिखते Oh, you're a cricket fan, is it? And I don't know, I'm flattered. Thank you for saying that. Tomorrow we have the Unacademy Combat, right? It is tomorrow, starts at 12 p.m. It is free, right? Do participate in the combat, and if you perform well, you will get Amazon gift vouchers. All the courses on the platform are structured very much in line with the exam syllabus to help you get the best of everything. And with one subscription, you get unlimited access to it all, right? Before we move forward, I would ask you to subscribe to the Unacademy CAT4MBA channel. Do that, please, so that you get notifications whenever a video is going live. You can also subscribe to our Telegram channel, wherein you'll get real time notifications about anything and everything. Um, these are the various subscription models. You can clearly see as the time period goes up, the cost of the subscription per month goes down. And if you use my name Prankur, you'll get an extra 10% off on any of the subscriptions that you go for. Having said that, let's begin with the first lesson. I think this won't be as visible. Just give me a moment as I rectify the text. I think it should work now. Yeah. Right. So I'll give you a hint. This is a modifiers question, right? This is a modifier question. Try to figure it out, Shruti. Option 2. 2 is the correct answer. Well done. Unwilling to threaten the revenue generated by cities to airports, the mayor. Who is unwilling to threaten? Who are we talking about? We're talking about the mayor. Well done. Let's look at the three state sentences. Now, out of the three, let me know which one do you think is perfectly fine. Right? There's one correct sentence out of the three. Tell me which one is the correct sentence. Third is the correct answer. Well done, Shruti. Although Ravi had not driven the car in weeks, his father had no trouble starting the engine. Now, why is the first sentence incorrect? Crazed with hunger. Who is crazed with hunger? Obviously, Coyote is crazed with hunger. Ranger is not crazed with hunger, right? So, crazed with hunger, how do we rectify this? Let's try and rectify this sentence. Who is crazed with hunger? The coyote. So, crazed with hunger, the coyote was subdued was subdued by the ranger. Right? This is how you rectify the sentence. The modifier is going to modify the coyote, not the park ranger. Right? When we look at the second sentence, though usually a calm person. Who is a calm person? Arthur is a calm person, not his patients. This does not make sense. Though usually a calm person, Arthur Arthur had his patience, or rather, not has, it should be had. Just give me a moment as I rectify this. Right. So we are talking about how Arthur had his patience tested, or Arthur, though usually a calm person, Arthur had his patience tested, had his patience tested or tried. Here the verb is tried. So patience tried more than once by his son's destructive behavior. Right? It shouldn't be Arthur's patience. The noun or the noun phrase should be Arthur, not Arthur's patience. So this was again, the first two sentences had a modifier error. Right? This is what we call the dangling. This in the first one we had the case of a misplaced modifier. In the second one we had the case of a dangling modifier. Yep. Let's look at a few more sentences. Again, one sentence is perfectly fine. You have to tell me which one is correct out of the four. One or two. Okay. One is, so as the melon farmers drove their crops to market, they were dismayed. Who is dismayed? The farmers, right? The farmers are dismayed to find that they were infested. Who was infested here? Who was infested? The crops were infested, right? But we are using the same pronoun to refer to melon farmers and the same pronoun to refer to crops. That does not make sense, right? So, Shruti, the first sentence is incorrect. Why? Because we are using the same pronoun they to refer to the farmers as well as the crops, which does not make sense. Abhishek says too. Alright, Abhishek. As the melon farmers drove their crops to the market, they were dismayed to find that the crops were infested. The crops were infested with fruit flies. So, this is incorrect. Let's look at the second one. Ram and Shyam have absolutely no idea how valuable their father's antique desk is. Yes, this seems perfectly fine. We are talking about two people, Ram and Shyam, and we are saying there. We are using a plural pronoun there, which refers to Ram and Shyam. So this seems perfectly fine. What is the error in the third one? Neither Alice nor Beatrix could figure out she she failed the math exam, right? We are talking about, so the pronoun as well as the idea is that since we are talking about neither Alice nor Beatrix, the pronoun has to refer to a singular subject, not a plural subject. Could figure out why she failed the exam, right? Every employee brought his or her cricket pads to the game. Not there. We are talking about every. Every is appearing before the subject, so the pronouns as well as the verb, they need to be singular. Every employee brought his or her cricket pads to the game. Okay. How about this one? Out of the four, one is correct. Shruti says the fourth one. Okay. What is wrong with the first sentence, Shruti? What is wrong with the first one? John is jealous of Judy because she has nicer clothes. Is jealous and has, the tenses are matching, right? What is wrong with the first one, Abhishek? Why do you think the first one is incorrect? John is jealous of Judy because she has nicer clothes. Comparison also fine. Comparison is also cool. Nicer, right? John is jealous of Judy because she has nicer clothes. What is incorrect here? I think this sentence is perfectly fine. Look at the second one. Fire alarms sometimes failing to detect. Where is the main verb? Where is main verb is failing? Where is the auxiliary verb? Fire alarms are sometimes failing to detect if they haven't been cleaned recently. Right? कभी नहीं सुना मैंने. Nicer. Nice, nicer, nicest. Nice, nicer, nicest. Right? Fire alarms. Oh, sorry. Sometimes cookie में काट दिया मैंने. Fire alarms sometimes fail to detect. Fail to detect if they haven't been cleaned recently, or fire alarms are sometimes failing to detect if they haven't been cleaned recently. Fire alarms sometimes failing to detect does not make sense. Yeah. यहाँ पे या तो R insert कर दो और use the basic form of the verb. Don't use the continuous form here. Fire alarms sometimes fail to detect if they haven't been cleaned recently. Now, look at the third one. Before the new library was built, children played around. We are talking about past tense, right? We're talking about past tense, not playing. Children sometimes played around in the vacant lot. Fourth one is also incorrect. Why? Because यहाँ पे you are using the perfect form. So here you would use the simple past form. Never before had my parents been more surprised as they were when my sister brought home her new fiance. Again, two things happened in the past. Pehle, parents were never surprised, and second, they were surprised when my sister brought her new fiance. Right. So there are two things that happened in the past. The first action has the perfect form. Here you've used had. So the second action has to be in the simple past form. All right. Hope you understood this. Let's move on to the next question. Yeah, this was a typo. This had to be grows. My Uncle John grows tomatoes that are bigger than a baby's head. Yes, third is perfectly fine. Both of you have gotten this right. My Uncle John grows tomatoes that are bigger than a baby's head. What is wrong with the first one? What is the error? में big नहीं आएगा. Big नहीं आएगा या again? What are you comparing? Are you comparing population or are you comparing California and New York? You're comparing population, right? That the population of Asian Americans in California is twice as big as that of New York. The population of Asian Americans in California is almost twice as big as that of New York. Second में comparison गलत है, बिल्कुल गलत है. Yes, you're right. In New Zealand, the average sheep eats almost 10 more pounds of grass annually than that of its Australian counterpart. How do you rectify the second one, Shruti? ट्वाइस एज बिग भी हो सकता है. ट्वाइस एज सी पॉपुलेशन बिग भी हो सकती है, लार्ज भी. लार्ज तो होगी, बिग भी हो सकती है. बिकॉज यू टॉकिंग अबाउट द साइज. साइज के लिए आप बिग भी यूज कर सकते हो, लार्ज भी यूज कर सकते हो. than Australia's sheep, or than its Australian counterpart does. Right? In New Zealand, the average sheep eats almost 10 more pounds of grass annually than its Australian counterpart does. So you're talking about, what are you comparing? You're comparing how much the sheep eats. You're not comparing the sheep, you're comparing how much the sheep eats. Right? So you're talking about the verb. You're not talking about the noun here. The comparison is between the verbs, not the nouns. Okay? Let's look at the next one. The second one. How about you, Shruti? What do you think? One or three? Okay. All right. What is wrong with the first sentence? What is wrong with the first sentence? I don't really see any glaring errors in the first one. Abhishek, what do you think is incorrect about the first sentence? Neither my pet monkey nor my sister's pet rabbit. Right? So, pet rabbit, pet monkey, singular, plus whenever we talk about neither nor construction, the verb always takes the form of the nearest noun. Right? So, is able goes with the singularity of pet rabbit. First is the correct answer. Yeah. Second one, all of the major food groups, including proteins, fruits and vegetables, and carbohydrates, are are crucial for optimal health. We have so many food groups, right? The subject is plural. So, the verb will be plural as well. Are crucial for optimal health. What about the third one now? This is incorrect. What about the third one? Of all its seafaring relatives, the California Grusil stands out because of its winsome demeanor and shiny coat. I think कॉमा के बाद कंपैरिजन अजीब है. I think even the third one is perfectly fine. That of all its seafaring relatives, we are talking about the pronoun is all right, right? The pronoun is all right, and Stands out is also alright. The pronoun is also alright. I think it's perfectly fine. So, Shruti, you were correct. The first one and the third one, both of them are perfectly fine. The first one, yes, Shruti, you're right. Equestrian enthusiasts predict that the alleged abuse of anabolic steroids among horse trainers will subside if the random testing of the animals is more rigorously enforced. Will have subsided does not make sense, right? Uh, and even when you look at the third one, we are not, animals are not random. Testing has to be random, right? That is the incorrect portion when it comes to part 3. Testing has to be random, animals are not random. Yes, exactly. Third one is perfectly fine, yes. Farmers find it more cost effective to destroy their crops than to make, right? So to destroy and to make, both of them are parallel. Second one is incorrect because as more cost effective than making. uh See, understand, find the destruction of their crops as more cost effective than making the effort. So the idea is destruction here is not parallel with making. This is a verb, whereas destruction is a noun. Noun and verb, the forms of the comparison are not really intact here, Abhishek, right? Whereas when you look at option 3, both the verbs are in their infinitive form, right? Find it more cost effective than to destroy their crops than to make. So more x than y, right? X and Y are parallel when it comes to option 3. Okay, that is why we'll go with option 3 over option 2. Well done, Shruti. I think you've gotten it right that the government's attempts to store chemical weapons in a rural community in Oregon, a state that with a decidedly environmentalist history, have encountered massive political resistance because we're talking about attempts. Attempts is plural, right? Attempts is plural, right? So we need a plural verb as well. Well done. Good job, Abhishek. You also got this right. Let's look at the next question. Vaibhav says the third one. Okay. Shruti says the third one as well. Okay. Okay. So the idiom here, Vaibhav, Shruti, Abhishek, is so X as to Y. That is the idiom. Alright. So not diverse enough so as to expire, so diverse as to inspire many fans to refer to him as the giant of Weimar. Right? So the idiom, remember always, is so X as to Y. Right? So diverse as to inspire. Okay? Let's look at the next question. 4 for the extent to which it has developed. Okay. How about you, Shruti? I'll give you guys a hint. This is a parallelism question. Exactly. Shruti got this right. Affected by how extensively it has developed and how close it is to major business center. Notice, notice the comparison, right? How extensively and how close, right? So both these phrases are parallel, right? Both these phrases are parallel. How extensively it has developed and how close it is to major business center. All right. Okay. Do these gloves belong to you? Exactly. These plural, belong is also plural. Plural and plural. Well done. Subject verb agreement. Let's look at ये भी कल हमने कर लिया था I think. Wait. Yep. A. So we'll go with B and not A, and I'll tell you why. Because large and experienced firms are more efficient than large and inexperienced firms at acquiring smaller and distressed firms and converting them. So, this them here has to refer to something that is preceding it, right? What is this referring to? The them is referring to smaller and distressed firms, right? This is what them is referring to, right? So, a more appropriate format of constructing the sentence would be complete the comparison first. What is the comparison? The comparison is between large and experienced firms and large and inexperienced firms, right? So, complete the comparison first and then use your verb use your verb, right? And then you have the object and this pronoun is referring to the object. Okay, so we'll go with B and not A there. Yeah. Let's look at the next question. Let's look at the next question. I think Abhishek's gotten it right. The answer is D. It's not A, and I'll tell you why. And B and C to bilkul bhi nahi honge. Why? Because after expectations, we need that. Right? The economic growth increased from 7 to 9% in November 2010, supporting the expectations that expectations ke saath we always use that expectations that industrial growth in October December quarter would more than double the 4% growth rate in industrial growth for the previous quarter. Right? We'll eliminate option A because more than double that of is incorrect usage. Double that of kabhi use nahi karte. We say this would more than double, X would more than double Y. Right? That is the usage when it comes to double. We don't say doubled that of. Right? So that is why we eliminate option A. And B and C we eliminate because we need that right after expectations. Alright. A is the correct answer. Well done, Shruti. So the phrase that we're using here is, or the conjunction that we're using here is both X and Y. Both X and Y is the conjunction that we are using here. Both dangerous and ineffective. Right? We're using A there. Not only ke saath we need but also. Not and also, we need but also. Right? So that is why we eliminate option B. See, warning that these instruments would prove itself. Instruments and itself. This is singular, instruments is plural. Eliminate option C. Who was warning that these instruments would prove not only dangerous but also is something that we need here to basically, uh, complete this correlative conjunction. So we eliminate option D there. So yeah, A is the correct answer. Well done, Shruti. So yeah, select the correct sentence from the following. A is incorrect, Shruti. Why? Because blunder and mistake. Blunder and mistake, this is redundancy. Both mean the same thing. Blunder means mistake only. Right? So this is redundancy. This is redundancy. I have learned this lesson word for word. You don't say word by word, you say word for word. I've learned this lesson word for word. Yeah. She does not know how to swim. Abhishek, she does not know how to swim. So yeah, that is something that Shruti got right. She does not know how to swim. He got his daughter married is the correct sentence. There is no error here. He got his daughter married. As simple as that. Okay. Okay. Abhishek says B or C. How about you, Shruti? A or D? Alright. Let's look at it. The average male investor expects to see all his investment stocks moving up, and the average male investor, so singular subject, right, expects to see all his investment stocks moving up, and he is often disappointed, right? B में comparison गलत है. The people in my country are smarter than in other countries than people in other countries. Yeah. So A was incorrect, B is incorrect. C is also incorrect. Why? Because we're talking about a specific number. The number of failures of product in final quality inspection is increasing, right? We're talking about a specific number, Abhishek. Is increasing every year. So C is also incorrect. D, before restructuring a firm, the CEO must consider the employees. All right sentence. Before restructuring a firm, the CEO must consider the employees. Bas, as simple as that. So D seems like a correct sentence. Yeah. Okay, ये हमने कल कर लिया. So I think with this we've come to the end of today's class. Thank you so much for tuning in. So guys, tomorrow I think the Unacademy Combat is from 12 p.m. onwards. I would urge all of you to participate in that exam. Right, you will get a lot of perspective about your performance levels and how you can improve, and the statistics will actually help you. Okay, I'll see you guys on Monday now. Monday 1 p.m. Be sure to tune in. And yeah, thank you so much for participating in the lesson today, Shruti, Abhishek. Thank you for sticking by till the end. We have Vaibhav also participated for a bit. But yeah, I'll see you guys on Monday now. Monday 1 p.m. Till then, stay safe and stay strong. Thank you so much.